can see here that this shaft literally snapped. You can see right there, the shaft snapped in half right in here somehow. Well, all right, guys, come on in closer here. Let's take a look at what's going on. So what happened is that I was using my wood chipper and it broke down. We'll look at that here in a second. I removed the chutes, both the infeed and the outfeed chutes, so that's why it looks a lot smaller than it would normally. So anyways, come on in here and let's take a look at what happened on this side here. So I haven't touched anything yet. So I'm just going to move the drive shaft a little bit out of the way, but you can see if I just get down here lower, this is exactly how it looks from the day that it, a couple weeks ago, that it fell off. There was a couple washers on the ground. You can see here there's a place for this shaft here to go. If you come on this side here, you can see the shaft. It came out, and I don't know, the belt looks kind of all over the place. So what I'm going to have to do is that I'm going to have to take this all apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the tractor here to undo the strapping that I used to put this on the top here, and then I'm going to do a time lapse to show you basically how I'm taking it apart, and then we'll take a closer look. Woodland Mills, what happened is I called them up, and within a couple of minutes I sent them some pictures of what happened. Underneath there was 4 washers on the ground. At first I thought it was the shear pin that broke, but then after I investigated a little bit, I figured out it wasn't the shear pin. I looked under the machine. There were 4 washers sitting on the ground, and this was looking just like you see it there now. So I contacted Woodland Mills, and they told me it was still under warranty. They sent me a box with some parts. We'll get into that later. I haven't opened it yet. So anyways, let's get started. Okay guys, that was pretty quick to take the cover off here. So there was only 4 bolts. Anyways, the damage in here is a little bit worse than I thought it was. This is the box that Woodland Mills sent me for parts. I don't think it's going to fix everything here. So very first thing I want to show you here, this is one of the belts. You can see here the teeth are all kind of mashed up. This other belt up here, you can see really got destroyed. And then if we come over here on the side and if we look at the pulley, you can see the pulley is jammed right in here. If you come a little bit further, that pulley's jammed in, and you can see down, if you look on the shaft, it looks like it's bent. So that's not too good. And if we look in here on this part here, look down in here, you can see in there that how that cylinder looks like it's bent as well. So if we back up here and we take a look, this piece here, it's definitely, I don't know, something, it's been damaged. So this all has to be taken off. This bracket here looks like it's bent, and I don't know if there's any damage to the top part here, but this may be, this shaft here may be bent as well. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the box here that I got from Woodland Mills. We'll see what parts are in here. In all likelihood, this is not going to be fixed today because this is all I got, and I don't think they sent everything that I'm going to need. Especially, I don't think there's any belts in here. So anyways, let's get the box open and see what I've got. Now when this happened, I was just chipping cedar, and that's a pretty soft wood, and the chipper is really good for cedar. And as I mentioned earlier, I thought it was the shear pin that had broke. But further investigation, I looked underneath the machine, seen the washers, and then I looked up and I seen all that mess. So anyways, let's take a quick peek in here. Looks like they sent a bearing. So that's the, this bearing piece is this here. You can see that's the piece down in there. And they did send a shaft. And that's good. That's this shaft down here. That'll be this guy down here, I believe. We'll have to take all that apart. And I don't know what's in here. Let's take a look what's in here. I'm concerned about this bracket here, that it's bent as well. It's leaning back, and right now that's jammed right in there. So let's see what we got in here. Okay, looks like some bushings and washer. Okay, what they've done is they've replaced the washers that these are kind of the washers that had fallen off onto the ground. So they replaced the washers and they sent a bushing that will go inside there. Yeah, there's 4 washers, and I had lost 4 washers. Well, not lose, but 4 washers came off. So now my big concern is the belts. I'm gonna pull this off here. This belt is toast. It's bent. You can see there's no way to use this again. And this belt here has been damaged. You can see right there, it's been damaged enough. Right here, it's been damaged enough. I wouldn't use that again either. And it's probably, most likely, it's been stretched. So I'm going to have to try and pull this guy out. There we go. So I'm going to have to pull all this apart. The pulley is still turning, which is good. This one's turning, and this one's turning, which is good. So obviously I have no belt, so this is not going to be a complete fix today. So I have to pull this bearing off here and replace it. And then I've got to pull this shaft out here, because this shaft has been bent as well, and as I said, they sent me a new one. Okay guys, just after looking at things a little bit closer, what I thought this shaft here was the one that goes inside here, but it's not. This one does look like it's on an angle, bit like it's been bent a bit. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, this shaft is this one here that goes into the front of the pulley. Now you can see here there's hornets again here. There's a little hole here, and there's a threaded spot here, and I guess this threaded spot goes here on this end where this bolt is. And you can see here that this shaft literally snapped. You can see right there the shaft snapped in half right in here somehow. Anyways, just wanted to correct that, because I thought at first that this one here was going down there. You can see here, guys, the bearing is absolutely nothing wrong with, as far as didn't seize up or anything like that. The shaft just broke. Very strange, eh? Look how it damaged all this. You can see on the back side of it how it's all twisted. Anyway, we got the new bearing here. I've got to pull the shaft out of there first, so I've got to go on the back side of it and on the other side of this to pull the shaft completely out. Okay guys, you can see in here there's a rear bearing just to the left, and then there's a couple set screws. I can't quite get my hand in there with the camera. Anyways, there's a set screw there. Maybe I'll point to it with the wrench. Right there, there's one. Might be two of them. Yeah, there's a second one. I'll just try and twirl this from the outside. So I have to undo those two set screws, and I should be able to pull that shaft out, and then I'll be able to put the new one in. I thought I had to take the rear bearing off, but I don't have to. But you can see the rear bearing is absolutely nothing wrong with it. So very strange that the shaft had snapped in half. Beyond me why, because both bearings are really good. You can see this was sitting on top. This sits basically right on the top of that. Actually, I got it backwards. It goes this way. It's just a cover plate for that shaft. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go off camera to take those little set screws on because there's no way I can film that. Guys, I decided to take off this rear bearing. It's too hard to get at the set screws. It's too hard to get my hand in there, so I'm gonna pull it right out. Okay, it's all loosened up there. Now I can just reach in here. It's really tight in here, so I think I'm turning both the nut and the bolt at the same time. I didn't get it quite loose enough. It's a tight spot to work in. There we go. There's the rear bearing here. You can see that's the rear bearing, and it's spinning 100%, so nothing wrong with that. But there's one, two, I've already taken one. Oh, maybe there's only two. I thought there was three. There's only two set screws, so I'm going to try and take the second one out here now. Okay guys, everything's just about apart except for this one piece here. A bit of damage on the pulley as well. Anyways, I'm going to take the new shaft. I'm going to put it into the rear bearing. That'll be the first step. I was going to see if I can hammer it down with the mallet. Okay, that's good. Didn't have to hit it very hard. It's actually sliding a little bit. There's a lot of play in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the set screws that I had taken out earlier. I've got one of them over here. Should come in a bit closer. You can see here I'm just going to wind in the set screw. If I can get it to go in straight. Might have to put it down here. Okay, I've got that one started. I've got to find my other set screw. I just had it a minute ago. Here's the other one here. I'll put it back here. I still have to take apart that front piece to put the new shaft in. That'll take a minute as well to do. I don't think I needed to take the set screws right out. I did anyways, but now that should probably be flush. I'm not 100% sure if it should be flush or not. I have it flush with the bearing. I may have to adjust that later, but I suspect that's where it's supposed to be. And I got to tighten the other side here too. Such a finicky little set screw here. Okay, so those are tightened in there. Now I'm just going to take this apart here. Take the two pulleys off the shaft that's broken. There is a ouch, that's hot. There is a key in here. So that's going to have to probably banged off of here as well. Oh boy, that one's going to be hard to get out. There we go. There's my key. I'm going to have to reuse this key here on the new shaft. I'm going to have to see if I can get it out of there. Still have to get the shaft out. I wonder if I use the old piece. That's still locked in there pretty good. I guess it's going to fall on the ground. There's no choice on this one. As long as it doesn't fall on my foot. I don't want it to fall on the ground, so I'm just trying to tap it just a little bit at a time. Just a little bit more, guys. I'm going to try and hold it. Hopefully I don't get this piece stuck in there. So it's just about out there now. I might be able to wiggle it out. No, I guess not. Just a little bit more. That thing is being stubborn. I'm hoping I can get that key out as well. The key must have had some damage to it too, because that should slide out. Try and tap it out some more. Wow, that's really in there. I wonder if it's bent a bit. It's about right about here, guys. It's just about out, but something's holding on. I might have to get a metal hammer. Holy smokes. Okay guys, I'm going to get a metal hammer, see if I can hit that a little harder. There we go. Hopefully this one's not stuck. Nice. Stuck a little bit. I think it should be able to just tap that out of there. There we go. Okay, so the old one's out. Now we're going to attach this piece here to the shaft. We're going to use the washers. We're going to put 2 washers that came with it. Then we're going to put the bearing. This is the new bearing that I received. And going to slip that on there. This should be fun trying to get that down there. Oh, I don't want that one. I want something soft. I don't want to damage the bearing. Oh, smokes. It's a bit crooked. Wow, that's a tight fit. It doesn't look straight though. That does not look straight. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but well, maybe it's just the way it's designed. This piece here is higher. It's kind of giving it a false look that it's crooked. It's not crooked. Okay, guys, a couple of things. One is I got the key or the keyway out. I put it in the vise. It was like this sitting in the vise, and I just used a piece here to tap it out, and came out no problem. For the shaft, I got it on. I don't have a press, so what I did, it's only here at the very top that it's really tight and really almost impossible to get on, to get it to slide down. Once you get it to about here, it just slides right down. So what I had done is I just used the socket over top, and I just tapped on the socket and it pushed it down to about here, and then once it hit here, it just slipped right down. Alright guys, so I figured out something that's causing me a bit of an issue here, why it's not quite lining up the way it should be. They sent these 4 washers that I actually lost, and the one thing that I also, well, not lost, but it fallen on the ground that I did find, and then there was this other piece here which is supposed to be 41 millimeters when it's only 8, so it's 33 millimeters shorter than it, or more narrow than what it should be. It should be that 41, so it's quite a bit smaller, and it would take up all the slack that's in here so that I know how far my pulley should be, and that these things here are not going to be flopping around when I have it installed. So I've got to go back to Woodland Mills now. I've got to get this piece sorted out. I'm going to see about getting some new belts from them. As I said before, you know, I don't mind doing stuff, but you know, when it's under warranty, it kind of drives me a little bit insane that I'm spending all my time figuring out how this all works, because I didn't design it. It's not overly difficult, but it takes time. So anyway, something under warranty should definitely be, hey, come here, send a guy down here and fix it, or it's free shipping to send it back and forth. Okay guys, I really don't know what this piece is for. I didn't contact Woodland Mills yet because I remembered about the 4 washers that I had found, and then I went back and then I also found this one here on the ground. So this is the piece that's missing, so you can see quite a bit of a difference in pieces. I don't know what that's for. So anyways, I should put this now. I can see how far I can have to put this on. Earlier I was trying to figure out why there was so much space between this piece and down here where the other 2 washers were. So now I have to realign the keyway. Just put it on like that. Slips on good. Now you can see it's all one piece, which makes a whole lot more sense to me than it was earlier. I'm just wondering, it could come down a little bit more maybe. there's a little bit of play. So maybe that's what that piece is for. Yeah, maybe I'm missing this piece. All right, guys, I found out what this piece is for. It does go on the shaft. Something I didn't notice, so I contact Woodland Mills, and what they've done is they've actually provided a video for me for the assembly of this shaft here, because the shaft was changed and I didn't notice it before. But you can see this is the bottom half of the broken one, and you can see the length or the here of this piece compared to this one. So what they've done is they redesigned the shaft, and they provided this as a bushing, and it actually goes on first according to the video. So we're going to throw that on there, and then it's followed by two of these spacers, 1.5 millimeter spacers, and then the bearing goes on. Now when I watched the video, this bearing just slipped right on, no problem. But in my case, for some reason, and I'll show you here, is that this shaft, it's been redesigned as I mentioned, but right here near the top, about this much of it right here is wider, and then it tapers down. On the old shaft it did not do that. And the second thing is that if you look, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but the one here on my left, it's flat, and on this one here, there's a bevel, and that's where this bolt goes in later to tie on the pulleys. The bolt goes in here, and this bolt will go nicely thread into the old shaft, but it won't thread into the new shaft properly. So I'm going to be looking at that. Also, I wanted to mention that I did talk to Woodland Mills about my belts, because as you can see, that really took a beating. So the belt and the pulley here also took a beating, and I don't know if this arm is bent. I can't quite tell. And then down here, this idler pulley or pin, this is definitely bent. So they're going to replace all those parts. So I'm going to have to wait for those parts before I can reassemble everything. So getting back to here, I've got the collar, as he called it on the video. I call it a bushing, and then two spacers. And now is the bearing that goes on. And like I said, he just put it on and it slipped down. You can see mine is tight. I can't get it to slide. So I'll show you how I used the socket earlier. So I just used the socket to punch it down. There we go, it's down on there. So I've got it on now. Then it's followed up by two more spacers, and I hope I got this in the right order. And then this larger bushing goes on there. Then after all that, what's going to happen is that this pulley goes back on. Now, something else that I've noticed about the two shafts, and I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but if you look closely, hopefully you can see on the camera that the one on the right, the new one, it doesn't look like the keyway is as deep and just a little bit less wide. So this is the key, and if I take the old shaft, the key I can kind of just press it in a little bit to get it started. But on the new shaft, I just got to get it out of there now. The new shaft, because it's a little bit more shallow and I think a little bit more narrow, I'm having a hard time to get this in here. And I don't know, I may have to shave down the key a little bit to get it on. If we have to do that, what we'll do is we'll hold off on that till I can repair the rest of it. So anyways, this would go on here next, and it lines up. That slot there lines up with the keyway, and then you insert the key. But because it's easier for me to install this part without having this on, I'm going to put this on first, and then I'm going to install the pulley here. So let's get this put in here. So the one piece I have to put on the back. This piece is the cover for the bottom of the shaft. It goes like that. So I have to put my bolts in. So hopefully you can come on my other side. And you can see I'm going to put it up on the top here. And I'm going to put in the back bolts. I've got some bolts here. Just got to undo this here. So I'm going to put it up here. I'm going to thread it in there, and I'm going to try and reach in with my hand in front of the camera here somehow. Actually, what I have to do is hold this shaft up somehow. I'm just going to put a wrench, trying to do this, just so that I can keep the bolt from slipping down. So I'm just going to reach in there, and I'm going to thread it on. Okay guys, I got the one bolt on, and then on the other side I'm going to put the other bolt. Can thread it through, and hopefully I can get my hand. I'm going to have to get in front of the camera, guys, because I can't get my hand in otherwise. So I'm just going to get my hand in there, turn the bolt the right way. And I'm just going to twirl it on there a little bit to get it started, so at least the shaft won't fall down. So the next part will be to insert the little protective cover or shield. It's going to put it down on the top here for now. I'm going to get a bolt. I'm going to pass the bolt in from the front. And it's got to go through the shield as well. That should be fun to line up. Not quite sure what's going on here, but I can't get my hand in there. It almost seems like it's too big. Oh, there we go. I just have to work it a little bit. Okay, I've got the shield in place, and I'm going to put it through the front bearing and then into the shield bracket. Hopefully, there you go. See, one bolt's coming through. And then I'm going to pass the other bolt through. I didn't want to tighten anything up yet because I want to make sure I got everything in place first. And get my hand underneath. Very difficult to film and show you what I'm doing at the same time. Get the bolt on there, or the nut rather. So just tighten that up enough that I can get a wrench on after. And then I'm going to reach in there and put the other nut on. So let's get in there. Now when I tighten these up, I'm just going to tighten them snug. I'm not going to crank them because those are bearings, and I don't want to put too much pressure on the bearings. So I'm just going to use the wrench here, or the impact gun and a wrench, and I'm going to tighten them up. Jeez, I got hornets all over here. Driving me crazy. Every 2 minutes I get a hornet landing on me. And I'm very allergic to those things. There's apple trees close by, that's why. So I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit. Okay, that's just snug. Get that out of there. I got to go from the bottom to get the other bolt. Here on the back. Okay, that one's tightened up. And then we got to do the front ones. Just going to put them so they're snug. I'm not going to crank them up because you don't want to crank them in the bearings. There's always that concern that it vibrates loose. What I'm going to do is take a ratchet, and I'm going to torque them by hand. Until I feel that they're snug enough but not too tight. Okay guys, here I just want to make sure that it's twirling nice, and it seems to be twirling fine. There's a couple set screws I have to tighten up here. I didn't tighten them up. Looks like there's a little bit of blue Loctite on them, so I might loosen them back off when I get the other parts. and retighten them with a little bit of Loctite in them. I don't want them to fall out and everything gets loose. Alright guys, the set screws are all tightened up. I'm going to try and install the Hornet again. Did he land on my shirt? Damn, he's on my arm again. Every 2 minutes there's one on me. If you see me jump, you know why. Like I say, I'm very allergic to them, and I don't like them landing on me, but I don't want to panic around them either, because I don't want them to get panicky either. Anyways, I'm going to put the key in here first. Going to try to get it down. Now, when I watched the video, it just slipped in for Gord. He's the tech guy that was did the video from Woodland Mills. And for me, I'm kind of hammering it in. I don't like that. But it won't go in otherwise. I don't know why, but I guess it's just the machining of it. It's not precise. I did have a hard time to get it off on the old one, so just a little bit further, guys, and we'll get that on. There we go. We've got it flush, sitting there nice now. So the next thing to put on is the pulley, and if I remember right, the little wheel was on the outside, and we have to line up that slot with the key. I'm going to see if it's... My concern was that this key is a little bit, or not the key, but the keyway, the slot, is a little bit more shallow than the old one, so I'm not sure how well this is going to go. Okay, got it there. Don't want to use the metal hammer. I don't like that I'm hammering this. Can't even get it started, guys. I might do is I might take a file to the top of the keyway and just file it down a little bit, because that's not going on. I'm going to go down here in the front and see if I can see better how much it's off. I get it. No way is that going to line up. Okay guys, I'm going to get a file and I'll be right back. Okay guys, I got one of my chainsaw files. I'm just going to see if I can shave it down just a little bit. I shouldn't have to do this, but there's no way it's going to fit on. If I can at least get it started, that'd be nice. I don't think I took off enough there, but I'll give it another try. Like I said, that should be just slipping on.
You're going the wrong way.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way and it's going on. Good thing I have the camera lady here with me, because I would have put that on backwards and I would have said, oh, it's done, and I would have said, oh no, I'm gonna have to pull it back off again. It's gonna be awfully hard if I would have put it all the way down. Okay, got the sun blinding me here a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can get it going again. doesn't want to go on this way. I've got it lined up perfectly, but I'm gonna have to shave that down. You can see it's kind of denting it down a little bit. So I'm gonna file it just a little bit more. But it looks like it kind of, as it goes back, it kind of raises up, so that's not good. My other concern, as I mentioned earlier, is the bolt. It's gonna, I'm afraid I don't want to strip it going in because it won't hold. Actually, I want to give this just a little tap to see maybe it's not sitting quite on the bottom. I don't like hammering it going this way because of the bearings.
You're going the wrong way again.
Yep, I'm going the wrong way again. Thank you. I think it's starting a little bit better now. That's just not fitting on, guys. Okay guys, what I'm going to do, that's just not fitting on there. That's the last thing I'm going to do today anyways, because I can't do anything else. I need all the other parts. Okay guys, I got the pulley on finally. It was a real bugger. I really had to file down that key. You can see it right here sticking through. That's the top of the shaft and the bolt that goes in there. I'm not putting the bolt in. I'm having a real hard time. It's like stuck almost right there, so I don't want to cross thread it. So I think I'll just end the video here. I'll do a follow-up video to this to show you all the rest of the stuff and putting it all back together as such. So anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It's not a video I like to have to make, but I'm thankful in the sense that Woodland Mills is providing some good support. You know, I'm getting the parts that are warranted. Also, they did a little video for me, which I really appreciate. You know, it's hard to get good support from a lot of people or a lot of companies. So anyways guys, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gel and Outdoors.